Hi, I'm Toni, and today I wanted to share with you a few poems from my first book, Back to Joy, and a little bit of the context of those poems, just a few of them. One of the things in my early 30s that became very important for me was the concept of play. I had been known for being a very intense person, let's just say. Most of my life I was very driven. I knew what I wanted to be in life. I achieved my goals, and I just kind of set out on life that way and went after it. And hitting my 30s, moving to a foreign country, having a child, leaving all of my support system and my family and everyone that I knew, except my husband, was quite a shock to my system. And it also removed me from any success that I had ever had. And now I'm in the middle of a different country, different language that I can't barely speak. And I really had no way of getting any self worth from my work. And it was, or from my achievements, or my successes. And so it was a huge shock to my system. And in order to navigate that well, I ended up doing silent retreats every year. For several years I would go away for 3 days. I didn't speak to anyone. I didn't even speak out loud to myself. I was completely isolated in the locations where I had chosen in nature. And I only took my Bible, a journal, and that was it for 3 days. And no singing, no music. Like, I didn't listen to anything except nature, and I did not speak. I know that sounds extreme, right? But I just wanted to practice that discipline and find an inner sanctuary with myself and with God so that I knew who I was, right? And what my work was going to be, and could navigate situations like self-worth and things, emotional issues that I was struggling with parenting and all of that, and be able to navigate that well inside of me. So this poem is one of those moments. I was away in the beautiful countryside of Uruguay, and I was learning about play and thinking about play, being more playful, and just enjoying the moment, being fully present in the moment. And I'm on a lake looking at this gorgeous reservoir where I was, and I saw these birds playing, and just kept watching them, and I was enamored and amazed, and so wrote this poem. It's called A Bird at Play. What fun it must be being you, soaring, gliding, glazing, diving. You fly so low your wings almost touch the water. Are you looking for food, or are you just enjoying yourself? There's an amazing beauty to your flight, elegant, smooth, silent, swift. You're playful. I see you dancing way up high before you come back down to glide over the water's face, almost caressing it, teasing it. What fun it must be being you. The second poem I want to share with you comes from a few years later in life. And we had a friend living with us who had been diagnosed with a mental disorder during this time that she was living with us, a pretty severe mental disorder. And I was having a very difficult time getting a time alone to myself and being able to just have space, my own space. And so I had sensed a friend of mine, plus sensing that God say, why don't you get up before the crack of dawn, like before anyone's awake in the house, and go for a jog on the beach? Like, come meet me at the sunrise. And that's where you'll get your time alone. And so I decided to do that. And even though I'm not a morning person, I hate getting up early. I've never done this in my life since. But during that year, every day I would get up at like 4:30, 5 in the morning, and I would walk the 3 blocks to the ocean. And I would get there sometimes just as the sun was breaking over the horizon, over the water. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But sometimes during the winter months, I would never see it, right? I would walk in darkness the whole time because I had to get back to get the kids to school. So I couldn't go every time when the sun was rising, but sometimes I hit it perfect on. So this poem was out of those years, just some of those months of walking to the beach to see the sunrise. It's called Daybreak. I walk in it this night. It's so natural, so known that I hardly notice it. Deep, dark, terrorizing. And yet, when the dawn breaks, it unleashes a burst of hope, of freedom that runs across the sky and envelops the darkness until it is no more. The light is a power so much bigger than myself and so not about me, almost terrifying. And yet, there's a comfort in its coming. I can fail or succeed, and regardless, the sun will come and the darkness will flee. I can rest in that reality. Just that reminder that there's something so much bigger than us, right? So it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I succeeded that day or failed that day. The sun was going to rise and it was going to do what it does. And I think that that comfort for me is more than I can even express. That no matter what I do with my children and my parenting and my job and my work, I can get it wrong, I can get it right. God is much, much, much bigger than that. And he sustains all of us and all of it. So hopefully that just models a little bit for everyone watching a little of my process that began in my 20s of learning to quiet, learning to pull away, learning to play. And that's a huge part of learning to live Jesus led and joy fueled. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time.